Welcome back, YouTube. This is going to be day 24 of Working Class Exile. There's not too much left to do in our playthrough. We never got to do Cirrus at Woke 8 because of our one screw up earlier. So we need to get that done. We need a little more on the map completion. And I want to do an Uber Elder just to show people Uber Elder getting done at a relatively good time frame. Is are we going to Hall of the Grandmaster doable in the current state of the build? No, Hall of the Grandmaster is a very specific map. People build specific Hall of the Grandmaster characters to do it. It's a unique exception to normal mapping. Your regular characters will regularly not be able to do that, even when they're very strong. Okay, so there's not much to do except hit start and begin going. Boom, start. Alright, we got any maps that we need to get completion on that we own? That one, but it's a thing. Yep. Still need a necropolis. Okay, so we need to buy. We got tier 16s. All of them. Tier 15s. Alright. So we're going to go to the same place as last time. PoE app, currency exchange. Tier 15. Necropolis. What else you got? Anything else missing in the 15 category? Core. Core. There it is. Desert Spring. That's all three. Those are the only 315s I'm missing, by the looks of it. Bum, 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 bum. Zoom, dum, dum. One, two, three, four, five. Nice. Thank you. Okay, that guy doesn't want to reply. How about this one? You're using Ichimonji so you can use the explodey chest. No, so I can fit on another aura. I was using the explodey chest regardless. That's a reference to my Herald Stacker, not this build. GY. Alright, let's go. Good, good, good. And I think all three of them need to be valed, and that's the reason that they still exist. Yep. Stay core, stay core. Oh, yeah, that's doable. Desert Springs. Stay. Oh, that's still fine. Necropolis. Stay Necropolis. Perfect.
Warm nights.
That is a lot of scarabs. We're gonna grab those real quick. PoE announcement in 4 days, 3 days, isn't it? There's new Vulkan renderer. You can see it like load in things slower, but during that load time, there's still no lag, no jitteriness, no nothing. It still runs. Which I think is better. Even though some textures and stuff take a lot longer to get in, I'm not going to get jumped. It's not a slideshow. Like everything just works.
It was not a lord before. Now this domain is its own. The gods. Whatever the syndicate is
Let's break some bones, you freaky git!
Why is it doing this to it? Slink back to the
Why is it doing this to it? Love me some scarabs. Let's go. Bum, 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 bum. A tiny trial? I'm not doing that shit. See ya. Zoom dum dum. Okay, so both of those are really nice maps. So let's go. One of them. Let's see, Core and Desert Spring. We can go Core and Desert Spring. And then they can both get Shaper put on them because that's fun. This one gets nothing because it's a garbage map. Garbage maps get nothing.
No one knows your name. No one but me.
Me. Love that, I love that, I love that. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, let's run those maps juiced. Domination it is. And actually really like beasts. I really like Jun too, but let's go with beasts. Juiced.
As mirage becomes reality, hardship is briefly quenched.
As mirage becomes reality, hardship is briefly quenched. What? I understand all of those words. Just not sure about the order. Mirror? Hello, Mirror? Excuse me. How far away can the mirror possibly be? Hello? Did I miss it at the start? I must have missed it at the start. It can't be this far away. It can't be. There it is. Right, okay. I was like, that's too far.
Take the captured beast to the menagerie.
Alright, let's go. Come on, I want 5 currency rewards. I want 5 currency rewards, and you're going to give them to me. Ooh. I got absolutely fucking destroyed then. Make a challenge roll just like your tab and stretch achievements. You actually have to go to the challenge tab every time. You have to go into the challenge tab every time.
Off you go, little beast! Away!
I actually don't even care about that shrine. I do really like the music, but that's not a good enough reason.
An exhilarating
Dum 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 dum.
Cast yourself into oblivion.
Ta-da. Nice. And boom. Aw. I was hoping to make a buttload of money just then. Did you know about the brand loyalty bug? Yes. I didn't necessarily think it was a bug. That's that one, yes. With brand recall, all brands that you recall count as attached for that little tick. We were doing that 3-4 weeks ago. One of the best ways to properly min-max this build is to drop this entire cluster and end up with a bunch of them out here and out here, and not even have the rune binder. We're talking about different things? Okay, then I don't know what you're talking about. Dum dum.
Black monstrous bridges cross oily rivers leading nowhere. Nothing as it should be.
Ready, exile? It is time to hunt. We will be best friends, beast.
I like to upgrade tips and how I continue to move forward. I like to thieve. There are two ways I do that. One, the moment we get patch notes, I do build help streams for like 8-10 hours a day for anyone, for everyone, for theory crafting for the next league. So that gets done. That gets done that way. Or I do them through Patreon build reviews anytime. So it's either Patreon build reviews or it's just everyone, but near the beginning of a league. Whenever, the moment we get patch notes until the league goes live for just everyone. We're using 14 brands and 6 brand loyalties. We only had like 10 or 12, but stacking additional brands with that was disgusting. I did not think it was a bug though. I wasn't under the impression it was a bug. But yeah, we knew about that interaction like 3 weeks ago? 3 or 4? You can't think it was intended? Oh no, I don't think it was intended. But in the same way that herald stacking isn't a bug, I don't think that's a bug either. I think it's an oversight. I think it's a mistake. I'm sure that they'll fix it, but I don't think it's a bug. There's nothing bugged about it. That's the way brand recall has always worked, with counting them as attached whenever you recall on top of things. So I don't think it's bug abuse, which means you shouldn't get banned for doing it. I don't think it'll stay, which is why it's not part of this build, because I don't think it'll stay. No, it's still technically there, even though you can't see them. I'm not exactly sure what causes it, but it's just a visual bug. They are definitely still here, and they are definitely still doing damage. But I can't tell you what's causing it. Each brand you can have clearly means 2, not as many as you can have. But even before we started having cluster duels, brand recall on a Hierophant always caused that interaction, just usually with only 5 brands. so it wasn't a huge deal. But now that you can stack brands up to like, I think I saw 10, I didn't see 14, that's a lot of min-maxing, but
Tread no further.
that's the way that interaction always worked. And we found out about that working for, you know, 10 or 12 brands or something. Yeah, like three or 4 weeks ago, Yellow was doing it. And then we sat down and had a look at that for a while, and we're like, yeah, that's actually busted. You should definitely keep doing that. I think Shad's also had that set up as well before he stopped playing. Needs to be magic. 14, week 2. Lovely. Dum 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 dum. Is that brand loyalty thing like suddenly a thing that's taking off now for some reason? Maybe I should have made videos on that like 3 weeks ago. Is there a Working Class Exile? Yes. It's > Working Class Exile, but not for the profile. For the profile, it's just BalorMage 2. Just change the BalorMage to BalorMage 2. Scoot doesn't make such good videos now that he stopped memeing. He didn't stop memeing. His stream is still very, very meme heavy, and I still don't know if I would suggest going to Cute Dog for brand new players, but his YouTube stuff is like proper good guides. He definitely has some. I watched his 1 and a bit hour long Jun guide, Syndicate guide, and that super helped me. Like, I now actually understand. I thought I understood before. I didn't. Now I actually understand. I'm going to make so much more money next league from doing that. Unfortunately, it's like an hour and a half guide, and most people aren't going to sit through that. But, ooh, was that helpful. Like, I still don't think I'd send brand new players to Cute Dog for information. Because he's a little too meme heavy, and unless you already know what you're doing, it's really hard to tell the difference between when he's joking and memeing and when he's giving real information. But oh Jesus, all of his YouTube stuff has been like super good. Like, you need to watch in the beginning. He's not like that anymore. Is he like not memeing heavily now somehow? That doesn't seem right. There's a method contract? Yeah, but that doesn't change anything. I mean, he might change because of it, but that doesn't, like, he doesn't have to, right? Like, that's... Nobody is. I mean, I think that would be fantastic, because he's always been able to put out really nice, informative YouTube videos, but I've not been able to, and I've been able to watch his stream and be okay with it, because I can very easily identify when he's talking complete and utter bullshit and when he's giving legitimate advice, because I know enough to be able to distinguish them. But I would never have sent new players to watch his stream,
Greater forces.
right? Like that. At least in the past, I'd be like, nah. You will just get bad information in the form of memes and jokes. Like, that's no good. But yeah, oof, that like, whatever it was, 2-hour video was oof. Without Runefinder, you can only have one attached brand at a time. Yes. But the interaction we were talking about earlier is brand recall. When you brand recall for an amount of time that I'm a little unsure of, but it's definitely more than one tick. It's probably a whole second. All brands that can reach that target count as attached. They count as attached. And so that means even though you can technically only permanently attach 1 or 2 with Runebinder, you can actually have, in this case, all 6 of them are attached whenever I brand recall. That's also why you often see me beside bosses that I don't need to be beside. It's because I want all of them to hit. People have been stacking those notables so that they can have, 12 brands that are all technically attached at the time of brand recall. You have to be on top. No, if they've got enough area to reach, then they count. So yes, if you stack enough brand attachment range, then it doesn't even need to be, you don't even need to be on top of them. That is not something I explored in this series, though we did explore it previously before I started doing Working Class Exile. We did not explore that in this series because I fully expect that to go away at the end of the league. And because I don't expect that to stay, I don't want to run into that. Okay, we need more maps still, do we? Yes, but not many. Holy shit. Okay, tier 14s. Okay, what do we need? Museum? And then laboratory? Laboratory? And then iceberg? And then dessert? And then Arsenal, Mausoleum, Residence, Ashen Wood. Ashen Wood, where are you? There. Arachnid Nest. Yeah, there's a lot in the 14 area. Marshes. Shit, where's marshes written? Marsh. Oh, there it is. Marshes. Arcade. Factory. Scriptorium and Peninsula. Factory. Scriptorium. And Peninsula. Oh. As well as... we already did those ones. Okay. That is 14 more maps. Anyone got all 14 maps? That would be absolutely disgustingly pog. Somebody's got 10. I'm sorry, 10 5k mana mine costs 1.5k and I have a 100k tooltip in the hideout. You need to up that. 1.5k is not enough for an Archmage build. Even this Working Class Exile one has 6.8k mana cost. Up them numbers. Dum, 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 dum. Does this guy not want to do the trade or what? Sure. I'm off even on them because I have 6 with 50% increased cost, but I'm also out of sockets. You need to spec out of this node. It's kind of a trap. Take it off. Take it off, take this one instead. Make up your energy shield by putting a few Shaper's Wills in. Yeah, you need Shaper's Wills to make that up. Okay, how much is an Exalt right now? If I was in Softcore and I wanted an Exalt for a Chaos Orbs, what would it be worth? Only 136? Wow, that has come down something chronic. Is 1x and 60c okay? Okay. How about this guy? Yes, that dude's here. Now, I know some people watching Working Class Exile, probably on YouTube, are going to be seeing this and going, wait, what? Hang on. Hang on. Half the price. One X is 135. So like 15C and 1X. Right, so people are going to be like, why are you spending an X in something on maps? And the answer is, it's just 100% worth it to not screw around all day and get your completion up. To be honest, at 120, you've probably already got enough. So you wouldn't necessarily have to go and do that. But I wanted to get some really good completion numbers out of this. So it's worth buying a bunch of maps in a hurry to just get it done. Thank you, sir. TY. This will, the earlier you get this completion up like this, the more it's worth. Even if the earlier for you is 22 days into the league, that will still pay itself back over time. I don't want that. Yep, we're good. Yep, we're good. 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 Can't run that. Can't run that. Good. Good. Good and good. The tier 14s are actually more expensive than the tier 15s and 16s were. Alright, so Mausoleum's fine. So again, all we're doing is right-clicking on the maps as we go by and checking to see if they need to be corrupted or not. Oh, I think he gave me 2 residences. That's okay. Asperg. Marshes. Because many of them are just not going to need to be corrupted. Arcade is fine. Factory is fine. Torium is fine. Lovely. Literally all of them don't need to be corrupted. Which, if we're going for map completion, that's great, because that means I lose none of them. So there's 9 completion just guaranteed. And those are all, that'll be 9 completions and 9 woke completions at the same time. This right now is a prime example of why we don't bother to complete a bunch of maps at low levels. We have to run all of these maps again with the right woke completion anyway when we get there. Right? So why bother getting completion when we obviously, I just proved, don't need that completion to progress into reds? So why bother getting a completion level up when you don't need to? When you're just going to have to run them again anyway. So it's way more important to just focus on getting all the stones, get your atlas up to the appropriate level, and then worry about completion. Tier maps are just grind for profit. There's no such thing as grind for profit at low tier. That's a trap. Don't do it. The absolute #1 priority for everyone should always be to get your atlas to a completed state. Now, depending on the strategy you're running, there are some strategies that a completed state does not mean a finished atlas. There are some people who are going to intentionally avoid finishing certain maps. There are some people who are going to intentionally keep their atlas below woke 8 for various reasons and might buy unique watchstones to fill the gap or whatever. And I'm not going to cover all of those because there's like 30, 40 different strategies, and those are pretty damn advanced strategies. But no matter what strategy you're running, getting your atlas to its version of a completed state should be your #1 priority. Now, for most people, that's complete as many maps as possible and progress as far as possible. For most people, that's get all of your stones. And that is the one I would suggest to most people. And that should just be your #1 priority at the start of a league. Get everything completed. That means if you've got 60 chaos and somebody is selling 3 maps you need on day 2 for 60 chaos and you need them right now and your build already functions, buy them, complete the map. I don't care. Burn your currency if you have to. Get through it. Right? Like that's you will be paid back by being in high tier maps with a good woke completion and a good completion level as early as possible. That will pay back whatever it costs to get there. So don't be scared to spend money. You will always make more money. Like, I feel confident saying that there are a bunch of people who play 4 or 5 or 6 hours a day right now that have been playing since the start of League that have atlases that are less complete than this one. And I guarantee that every single person who has a less completed atlas than this that has been playing this long also feels broke all the time. Right? Like it's a mistake. These should be finished. Dum, dum, dum. Dum, 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 dum. Did I not run through that? There we go.
This world stems from your actions.
That's true. In the span of 3 maps, I went from 18. I get 5x as a reward. Nice. Bum, 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 bum. Chaos. And let's go. Next map. Nice. Okay, so
Good luck with your map.
is that? Oh, complete 3 more bonus objectives to get the Beyond.
You are lost in the middle of the jungle.
Jungle. Brands might have to be one of my favorite playstyles. I do very much hope that they don't nerf brands so much that I can't play them. I don't think they will. I don't even know how they could, to be honest. But sure though, it's possible. Ew, explosive trap area. I'm gonna pass on that hell enchant, thanks. Nerf, do you think it'll be a cluster nerf? Notables no longer stack? Or do you think they'll nerf the herald skills themselves? No, they won't touch heralds themselves. It'll be something to do with clusters. I fully expect them to make it so that notables do not stack. And I wouldn't be surprised if voices were limited to 1. I'm not saying I would fix it that way. Just saying that's kind of what I expect. They'll be limited. Notables will no longer stack anymore, and voices will be limited to 1, I think. I think that's how it's gonna happen.
My mana is spent.
Nope. Nope. I don't want that either. Max 3 stacks, I think. I think they'll just make it so that they straight up don't stack at all. And I'm okay with that if it's the solution. Oh, we got a new one that we didn't have. Armory, it only has to be magic. Fantastic. I hope they don't fuck with it, but I know they will. I definitely hope they do fuck with it. And we know they're going to, so it's okay. You do not want cluster jewels to stay the way they are. Pretty much every build that exists is the best version of itself if it stacks the exact same cluster over and over again. Which makes every single tree pretty much the same in every single build. We don't actually want that. It was very good and interesting, but we don't actually want that. We still want people to, we still want to use the passive tree, not just use it as a way to get to the end of the passive trees so that we can put actual cluster jewels in. Like, that's not a good long-term thing, I don't think. You want to leave room for whatever power they want to bring with the next thing. Like,
Do you not have nets, Exile? That was a great hunt, Exile. I now will write a mighty book.
damn it, I missed the boss man. Where are you, boss man? Ah, here he is. Is there another boss man? Oh, found him wherever he was. He was down here. Okay. Yep. I want more cluster notables. I would also not mind more cluster notables. But here's the thing. There's no point in putting any more notables in if notables stack. Because you only need two. You need 2 larges and 2 mediums. And as soon as you found those, you just put them everywhere. And then maybe you don't like the largest, you just put voices in. And then just maybe you just only need the 2 mediums that are the best. You just put them in over and over again. Right? Like, it doesn't... It's not actually interesting if you do it that way. There's no actual choices. There's just, well, these 2 are the best, so you use them over and over again. But if they don't stack, then you have to start thinking, okay, which one's the best after that? Which one's the best after that? At what point do I stop taking them and invest in the tree? Right? Like, there's still an actual passive tree. You want that to be used as well. The favorite idea I've had so far was that notables would not be stackable. However, the megalomaniac notables would be in a different pool, meaning I could technically have 1 notable and then have that same notable a second time from a megalomaniac. You couldn't stack megalomaniacs either in my idea, but if you wanted a second one, you could get a real one and a megalomaniac, and that would keep them interesting and unique without letting me stack the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I think that would go okay. There you go, regular Joker did all the content. The regular Joker do all of the content. No, that's not true. You're just getting better. Regular Joe can always do all of the content when he's good enough to do so. You're just getting better at the game. Hey Peep, how you doing?
The face that stares back in the mirror is a stranger.
Bum 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 bum. It feels like you're doesn't matter getting better. Oh, yikes! But starting the leading kid learning the game allowed me to do pretty much everything. Yep. Compared to CFO with the 216 Black, that is true. Wave 20 simulacrums are probably significantly harder than most of the endgame content we've had in the past from leagues. They're very difficult. Which I think is great. Like, I'm on board. Okay, what do we get now? 8%, 8% with 10% regen. I think just 8% mana with 10% regen will be fine. Let's grab it. Yep. As a side note, that map now makes me level 96 on Working Class Exile. I would even go as far as to argue that if my goal was level 100 in a league for like the first time ever or something, I would still have time to get that even on 90 minutes a day. That might mean I have to play one character for the entire league and not make ults. But I definitely think there's time for it. My hero build that I had this league. And another board will force me to learn the game rather than just sit there holding right click the entire time doing sims. Yep, that's fair. Boom, boom. Look at that sexy completion. This don't really never did playing Herald. Yeah, because this build, while powerful, strong, and fast, is not immortal or severely broken in any way. It's a very nice build. Definitely like a top tier build, but it's not like a Herald stacker where you just like, lol, what's a mechanic? You just stand in everything, right? You still have to dodge.
Will be forgotten.
Ooh, exalt shards. And did a max like 4 million DPS per round. How'd you end up doing that on an Archmage? Normally I do something like that on an Inquisitor. Like just a regular Stormbrand setup. There it is. Hello.
You are their mercy.
The Herald.
The corrupt shall fall.
I find it just randomly die. So the Stormbrand thing, the one thing it has, that the Herald Stacker and very few other builds have, is complete and utter mobility, which is why it's one of now one of my favorite playstyles. Mobility is huge. It's a defensive mechanic to be able to move. It also lets you learn things much quicker, because instead of having to focus on doing DPS, you get to focus on paying attention to what the boss is doing and dodging things and that sort of thing, rather than just being like, oh, I need to do damage, You're just always doing damage. You get to focus on learning the boss moves and dodging things. Iron vs. Wild, thank you very much for the raid. Dum, dum, dum. Working Class after 2 seconds. It's a known bug. The Vulkan client is beta, and some people have been having troubles with it. Is this the music for this zone? Where is that music coming from? And why is it all over the place? Why is it loud and then quiet? It gets louder when you get closer to bosses? Literally just took Archmage out just to see. Just to see what the sound it sounds like on this side boss. I now do no damage, by the way, like none. Alright, that was pretty cool. That's some pretty cool music. That was definitely some cool music. Alright, you got anything else? Nope. 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 And do we have any higher tier unique ones that we haven't done? No. Okay. Now, what are you? Needs to be a corrupted rare. We've got the woke completion, but we've not got the normal one. Maybe. Perfect, let's go. Oh.
Glad you made it back. Stay inquisitive.
What does Rooster build? It's just my way of saying I'll look over your build, but I will, in my normal style, also tell you all the ways in which it's shit.
This is all an illusion.
Hopefully in a helpful way. Yeah. I don't actually just insult people for no reason. Like,
Insane, exile.
I insult people and builds because that's just the way I speak. But it all comes from a place of love. I only want to help. A love for insulting. Yes, yes, that's the one. Something during XCOM. That was the family-friendly thing. Was absolutely a joke. This is not that family-friendly of a Twitch channel. Damn, that's a lot of stacked decks. Let's go.
My lord, you are murdering innocent souls.
Oh, it's clear he did spend a while thinking and came up with nothing. That's all right. You keep hanging out here, you'll get better. I believe in you. Nice. Bum, 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 bum. Dum, dum. Some like weird freaky toy box music. I don't think I've heard the music in here before. The fucking Jack in the Box gonna cut. This map is so much more spooky with sounds on. What the fuck? Yo, who did the music here? Alrighty then. That was some cool music. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, what does that get us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more zones that need a little tiny bit more mapping to unlock their favorites. Specifically, this one, if I wanted to, I would need Peninsula and Mineral Pools if I wanted the favorites here. Which at this point, we've got enough completion and mode completion. What we'd be looking at now is, what is my Atlas strategy? What did I want to do? If I wanted to do the infinite tier 14 burial sustain, I'd be comfortable to stop here with just general completions, but I would zone in on this area and be like, okay, I need to get Peninsula and Mineral Pools and make sure I finish them and unlock all my favorites in that area before I start, right? Like that would be a thing that I would definitely want to be doing. So you will also notice that I'm not using any of the favorites yet, and that's because I'm not done setting up the Atlas. The very last thing you would want to do is suddenly be way more likely to drop a map you don't need yet because you're still finishing your Atlas. Don't apply any favorites until your Atlas is done. It doesn't have to be 100%ed, again, just done to the stage that you're happy with it for whatever strategy it is you're doing. But you should get there first before you use favorites. Boom, 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 boom.
You cannot stop death.
Doom, doom, doom. Favorite ones I have what I needed? Yeah, that's something I could do. Like if I did have a favorite in this area, but I've got Mineral Pool completed but not bonused or anything, I could favorite it. I don't have the favorite though. But that only works if you're chasing woke completion, but not regular completion. Like there's a few odd maps left, like Spider Lair, Flooded Mine there. Right, like there's a few of them, but not many. Doing all awakening objectives, so like there's one like I could do that, right, to get the ancient city for the awakening. objective, but for the most part, you shouldn't have a lot of those, because this Atlas strategy is built around not really completing very many maps until you get all the way up there. Like, we basically we didn't go out of our way to complete extra maps. So most of the time, we were getting woke completion and completion at the same time. Like, most of the time. And that's really the ideal case.
Time is a veil. You exist in the singular eternity.
I don't even like this map, but we had to run 2 in this region because we're silly. Oh, balls. Oh, that's actually enough of the map cleared. But I can't leave without this. How is that? Is that really all of it? Here, I'll take some of those too, just to make myself feel better. Any particular reason why the general filter doesn't have any cards struck by lightning? The last time I updated it, it was worth enough on trade to warrant picking up. It probably isn't anymore. I think, actually, it was hidden for a while, and I think somebody market manipulated PoE Ninja to look like struck by lightning was worth money, and because it auto-tiering based on worth, it slid up. And we have plenty of safeguards in places to make sure that price fixes and people making things seem cheaper than they are don't affect it, and that cards don't slide down and prophecies don't slide down past what they're actually worth. But we don't have safeguards in place against people making stuff look like it's worth more.
The unrighteous will
I don't know why that happened, but it did. Why, are fuses and jewelers suddenly worth picking up again? Like, I got fuses hidden on the filter. Surely they'd go back on before 6 links. I 100 fuses to an X. So that's getting pretty close to the plant where I'd put fuses back on, maybe. But I would not put 6 sockets on. Just fuses would go back, might go back on. 6 links? Sorry, I meant sockets. I meant 6 sockets. General filter shows 6 sockets. General one, maybe. Maybe. Does it though? Does it though? I don't think it does. Either it doesn't or I didn't get any. Ah. Is it green or blue? Sorry, is it blue like that? Does it say, is it blue like that? Bum bum. Day 22 of May. Okay. Maybe that is still on for them. I usually move up to the strict one pretty damn quickly. I don't stay on. Even this Working Class Exile is up on strict. Like, strict mapping is just better. IMO feels better. You make more money. I always like the strictest filters I can get, but people quite often don't like that. Right. So technically there's 3 minutes to go, but I think we're gonna call that the end of that working classes day.
Got my eye on
What
you.
we do have,
Got my eye on you.
2 of those. Right, now let me just hit boom. Right, so that'll be the end of what are we on now? Day 24. We are pretty much done with completion. There's a little bit more we might want to do depending on our Atlas strategy or what we were going to do moving forward. For instance, if we were going to do, you know what, I'm going to stay on this character and I'm going to farm up a headhunter and I want to do infinite burial chambers sustain, then I'm going to obviously pick my burial chambers area and make sure I finish these like 2 maps that are in here so that I get my favorites unlocked. If I decide I wanted to do tower, I'd make sure I did the last map in here that needs, what is it? An awakening objective. There's must be one missing right there. There it is. Make sure I grab ancient city, do that so I can favorite tower. Like whatever my Atlas strategy is, I'd make sure I could do that. But in general, I can do pretty much any strategy from here on. 134 map completion, 125 woke completion. We ended up buying a total of maybe 20 or 30 maps, something around 30 maps. We did a total of 3 separate trades for maps, which none of which were incredibly annoying. That was all relatively easy, and it will be in every league if you do that the right way. So we're sitting there. We've got 2 Guardians ready to kill, and we'll be able to do Cirrus Woke 8. And we're sitting on 3x in Rorex, but we also have however many simulacrums that is, which we could sell, stacked decks, which are worth in bulk like we've got here, probably 4 or even 5. See, there's probably easily 500 to 600 chaos worth of stacked decks there, which we could decide to open or sell. Simulacrums, I don't know how much money is there, but it's a pretty decent amount as well. We could easily turn that into more money, plus 3x. 900 C worth of sims there at the moment. Yep. So there's tons of money sitting there. So that's quite nice. Maybe we'll put some of them up for sale tomorrow. We'll get that done. We'll get our Cirrus 8 done. And we might even go as far as to set up a mapping tab and actually show people what a decent mapping tab would look like and start that. Although tomorrow will be our last day, but it could be worth doing that as a you know, like a showcase of where I would go from here, because I won't be obviously following this character or this playthrough through for an entire league or anything like that, because we've shown most of everything we need. So I think tomorrow will be probably just doing that, finishing off an Atlas strategy, setting that up, building up ourselves a little map run tab that looks nice, and killing Cirrus 8 and Uber Elder to make sure that those get done and showcased. And that will probably be the end of Working Class Exile. It's been a very fun series, so still 1 day left. And I guess I will see all of you two people tomorrow. Bye.